The most terrifying moment in the Bible actually isn't a massive battle. It's not a plague. It's the 30 minutes of absolute silence before the end begins. Welcome to Explainer, where we're going to dive straight into the grimmest forecast imaginable. Today, we're looking at a staggering vision of the future recorded by John the Apostle while he was exiled on the island of Patmos, a place literally nicknamed the Island of the Apocalypse. The imagery here is wild, the stakes are cosmic, and we're about to break down the absolute most suspenseful part of this entire apocalyptic timeline.
So, if you were forced to guess what the single most terrifying moment in this text is, you'd probably immediately think of skies raining fire, right? Or some horrifying, monstrous beast. And sure, the book of Revelation has all of that in spades. But what our source material points out is that the ultimate suspense mechanism is something entirely different. It's not loud. It's not chaotic at all.
It's actually 30. Specifically, the 30 minutes of absolute pin-drop silence right before the end truly begins. In a vision that is completely jam-packed with roaring beasts, screaming eagles, and blaring trumpets, it's this specific, measured half-hour of utter quiet that sets the stage for the most devastating events in human history.
Let's look at part 1, the seventh seal, or when heaven goes quiet. To really understand why this silence happens, we have to look at a scroll secured with 7 seals and the slaughtered lamb, Jesus, who is the only one worthy to step forward and open it.
As the Lamb cracks open those first 4 seals, boom, we meet the infamous 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You've got the white horse, then the red horse bringing global war, the black horse bringing severe famine and economic collapse, and finally, the pale horse, ridden by death itself. The source notes that this rapid acceleration of chaos literally wipes out a full quarter of the earth. The destruction is deafening. Martyrs are crying out, the sun goes black, the moon turns blood red, and massive earthquakes are shaking the ground. The noise and panic are at an absolute peak.
But then, right when the destruction reaches a fever pitch, the momentum suddenly halts entirely. The text gives us this chilling detail. When the Lamb opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour. Just when the stars are falling from the sky, everything stops. Heaven, which was just described as being filled with constant singing and thunder, goes completely, terrifyingly quiet. Which brings us to part 2, the anticipation trap, the calm before the reckoning. It's like that deep breath drawn right before a scream.
You see, this silence is the most orderly and clear signal that a major, calculated reckoning is about to start. During this eerie quiet period, 7 angels step forward and they're handed 7 trumpets. Then another angel takes an incense burner, mixes it with the prayers of the faithful, and hurls it down to earth, causing a massive earthquake. The silence is officially over, and the judgments those trumpets are about to bring, well, they're going to make the 4 horsemen look like a warm-up act.
Moving to part 3, the bitter star Wormwood. As the trumpets begin to sound, the narrative accelerates rapidly. John describes a great star, blazing like a torch, falling from the sky to poison the waters. It's called wormwood, which means bitterness, and it poisons a third of the Earth's rivers and springs. People are dying from this bitter water. Now, look at how the source material interprets this through a modern lens. This ancient description aligns perfectly with our modern anxieties about a nuclear rocket launch causing massive radioactive contamination of the global drinking water supply.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is how these escalating trumpet judgments translate into a very visceral, modern, hell-on-earth scenario. The 4th trumpet darkens the sky. Hello, nuclear winter. The 5th trumpet releases swarms of locusts with iron armor and human faces that torture people for months. Could that be a description of armored tanks? Or maybe the agonizing effects of radiation sickness? And then the 6th trumpet unleashes an army of 200 million mounted troops. In today's terms, we're talking about the horrifying logistics of a global superpower war involving the EU, US, Russia, and China. Okay, part 4, the action hero arc. Eyes burning with fire. While the world completely collapses and humanity clings to this deceptive one-world order marked by the number 666, the climax shifts into a true action thriller. He returns with eyes burning with fire, riding a white horse, his robe dripping with blood. Jesus returns to Earth, but definitely not as a passive lamb anymore. He returns in a full-blown action hero arc. His name is the Word of God, and he's arrived to finally, decisively separate the wheat from the weeds. This leads us right into part 5, the final vulture dinner, Armageddon, the ultimate showdown against Satan's forces.
Now, despite all the pop culture hype surrounding the word Armageddon, the source notes this is not some prolonged, gritty siege. It's a decisive, visceral, and overwhelmingly brutal victory. The world's armies assemble to fight back, but the beast and the false prophet are instantly captured and thrown directly into a lake of burning sulfur. The returning Messiah takes absolutely no prisoners.
To really grasp the sheer, terrifying scale of this defeat, an angel actually calls out to all the birds flying in the sky for a final vulture dinner. The angel literally yells, "Come and eat the flesh of kings, generals, and strong warriors." It is a gruesome, absolute destruction of the opposing armies. The battle is over almost as soon as it begins. Part 6, the parole plot twist, 1,000 years later. So, the armies are destroyed, the beast is defeated, but just when you think the story is over, there's a massive plot twist.
An angel comes down and locks Satan in a bottomless pit. The faithful survivors are resurrected, and we get this amazing era of peace that lasts for 1,000 years. But then, and this is the mysterious part, Satan is released. He basically gets paroled to deceive the nations and test a surviving humanity one last time, right before he gets his ultimate, eternal sentence in the lake of fire.
Finally, Part 7, the payoff. Prepare for the testing. Only after this final deception is defeated do we see a new heaven and a new earth.
Ultimately, what you should take away from this explainer is the provocative challenge hidden inside this ancient text. It's asking you to prepare for this great time of testing by finding your sword of truth right now, today, long before those trumpets finally sound. It leaves us with a pretty heavy question. If the world were to face this ultimate reckoning tomorrow, where would you stand when that terrifying 30 minutes of silence finally breaks?